We got a new trailer for Agatha All Along.
Oh!
The first one, actually, confirming what I've been saying for years now. Never mind the distraction of the titles. It was always going to be Agatha.
Andre, I think that was a piss poor attempt at some kind of promotion gimmick that didn't
Of course
work.
it was. Yeah, it was so obvious that someone had like,
Yeah.
you know what, we're going to play a game. We're going to give it this title and this title. We're going to change title every other month. And then in the end, it's going to be Agatha All Along. We're so clever. How come all our products bomb? We're such a brilliant marketing team.
Well, in seeing this, I'm saying this is not aimed at children.
Yeah, no, and it's not. And before we get too deep into this, I've totally spaced this out. I had one other thing with the theatrical side of things, and this is real quick, so we can just jump right back into this. I want to thank Six for sending me this and the Agatha trailer, by the way. But she sent this to me, and I thought this was interesting, and I thought you might find this interesting, especially Culture. Despicable Me 4 was a huge hit for theaters, more so than Inside Out 2, I guess. They had their biggest jump in sales for concessions because of Despicable Me 4. And it's Bucket and it's other figures and t-shirts and other items at AMC. So there you go. See, it's helping theaters. They're coming back. See, normal movies are helping. There you go. I forgot all about that. I wanted to bring that up. I thought you'd find that interesting. So there you go. But that story's in Forbes if you want to check out the full version of it. But let's get back into Agatha here. Because Lord knows, I know y'all are chomping at the bit to see this.
Let's be careful. Let's do a little bit of jumps because otherwise the stream is going to get taken down. So let's jump
about not
back and forth here. Yeah.
Yeah, Disney's pretty good about usually not nailing us, believe it or not. But yeah, so we'll pause.
Yeah, well, and apart from the times when they are.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're pretty selective.
Yeah, exactly.
So someone decided not to put any makeup on her?
She's pretending to be an agent here.
Oh, I see.
She's dreaming to be an agent, rather. Because remember, like, this is... I'm going to talk a little bit over this so we don't get nailed for the sound. Because, again, this is, again, the legacy of the horrid WandaVision. One of the biggest mistakes of the MCU. And Kevin Feige's brainchild. With all of the mind screwing and the back and forth and misdirects, what you're seeing here is obviously that. So yeah, carry on. So here she's dreaming to be a police investigator. In the case. This is what we call a misdirect.
So she's dreaming this. She's a good actress.
Oh, nothing wrong with the actress.
Well, I've decided that Andre should do descriptive audio service from now on.
She approaches the body.
She approaches the body like a stupid bitch.
She approaches the dead body under the sheet, and she looks at it with a weird look in her face.
Seeing it wrong.
And now she's looking at dates, and a name appeared.
And she realizes
Wanda Maximoff, a mystery.
Is this really how you see yourself?
What does this name mean?
That witch is gone.
She realizes that's her library book is still due.
And another lesbian appeared and told her a hint that none of this is real. Oh. You are still trapped in the world of that witch's myth.
What's her name? She's funny.
Yeah, it's true. This is basically like when Arnold did the commentary.
Like Arnold did the commentary.
It's like, I'm doing the commentary. This is where I pick up the sword and I sing it out of my head. He just sits there and he just tells you what he's doing.
Oh. Claw your way out.
Let's claw your way out of the dream. And now we have a montage of various characters who've been... Look, now she's black and white and she's singing Agatha All Along.
I'm already disinterested.
I miss the glory days.
And it looks dingy as shit, like every other thing shot on digital.
She took every bit of power I had, but I can be that
witch
again.
The witches, the lesbian witches are talking about power and who is allowed to use it.
Just the power of one, the power of two.
Someone took hers. That's out of The Witcher.
Oh my God!
Yeah, she forgot to wear makeup. This is what she looks like.
Oh, the gang's all here. A bunch of lesbians and a gay guy.
The lesbian witches.
And a gay guy. Don't forget the gay guy.
Gay guy is yet to come, but he will soon be there.
He's there. He just showed him. They just showed the whole cast.
Oh, yeah, there he is in the background.
Background, yeah.
I'm gonna walk the witch's road. The road is a death wish.
Oh, she's a decent actress, though.
Nothing wrong with any of the actresses. Now they have to walk the yellow brick roads.
Why does everything gotta look so goddamn dingy now? What is this shit?
Everything is dark.
It's dingy and dark. There's like it's had the color sucked out of it.
Well, it's because it's racist to darken up the blacks. Like that's the thing.
They're crushing the blacks. Yeah.
I do give Loki credit for actually having colorful scenes.
Yeah, I didn't really watch that, but like even Spider-Man No Way Home, I was disappointed in the 4K release. I'm like, this looks like trash.
Everything is done dark. Well, partly because the new cameras don't need a ton of light and they're abusing that capability.
Yes. Well, not only that, it doesn't have the richness to it that film
they
has,
think
right?
it does.
I don't think so. It looks like shit.
You're not a
Which
cinematographer.
in her right mind would join Agatha.
Neither are the people who did this.
Oh, he's totally gay.
Not at all.
Yes, to continue the narration. That now we see the gay guy acting out how gay he possibly can be.
Every time I have a drawing in of breath, I always put my hand over my chest. There you go. Culture, you're hired.
Hey, I can play gay.
Yeah.
Play gay.
Not looking for right-minded witches, as it happens.
Doing their best Kamala interpretation.
Even more witch shit out of Disney.
You know what? It actually looked fairly interesting with her pretending she's a cop, and then it kind of fell apart.
No. Yeah, exactly. She dreamt. I mean, that's the first 5 minutes. Culture. Do you have something you want to say?
I think she was pretending to be a medical examiner
or something.
Yeah, no, like I got some like Scarpetta vibes, right?
What?
Yeah, that's a book reference, from Patricia Cornwell's book.
I thought you swore for a minute there. I was gonna scold you.
I give up.
Anyway, so yeah, this then, what we just saw, this is the follow-up to Deadpool. This is the next thing that's going to come out after Deadpool. After all of the goodwill Deadpool is going to create, this is going to flush it all down the drain. Because this, I believe, is going to be Marvel's very own Acolyte with its coven of lesbian witches. Just not in space this time.
Well, they need to consult Zack Snyder about
Part of the problem with any kind of witches, warlock adventure, there's no real hand-to-hand combat. There's a lot of hand waving. If you watch Wheel of Time, and it gets tiresome. It's like everyone going like this, and then suddenly, special effects crap coming out of their hands. It's unbelievably.
Yeah, but that's what girls are good at because they don't do hand-to-hand combat well, but they do dance well. And dancing is like waving your hands and
that's right.
Like this one right here, who was dancing just like the chick from the Exorcist, dancing down the stairs and the spider walk. Yeah.
Jesus, I just.
No, that doesn't interest me at all. I have to say.
I think the magic waving stuff is less interesting without a wand.
I agree. You need a spruce wand with a bit of unicorn tail, in the middle.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's what you need. The magic stuff wasn't handled that badly on The Witcher in the first season, but then the whole thing just fell apart.
Rogues Gallery Wingnut, who's been here for a year, thank you for that, says, why would you make your title the inside joke twist of a show nobody watched? Yeah, no, that's a great point. And I think you're just seeing diminishing results with this. Yep. This is another one of those shows that I don't understand why they just didn't shit can or why they haven't yet. And why they're
honestly they should have, because this has been my point all along. They needed to take advantage of the strikes and cancel all of these series, every last one.
I don't understand the
I'm
point
telling you
of
right
this.
now, this can only harm the MCU. Sorry, you were saying, Paul.
No, just say I don't see the point of this.
Well, I can tell you the point, and that is it all goes back to WandaVision. And I personally didn't like WandaVision. I know many did, and that's perfectly fine. But the problem is that the biggest fan of WandaVision is Kevin Feige, because it was his baby. That was like the first project that he did all on his own, with absolutely no training wheels of any kind, when he was fully alone in charge of the MCU. WandaVision is the project that came after that. Yeah, of course, you still had Captain Marvel and stuff before, but when he was formally in charge of absolutely everything MCU, WandaVision was the first project to come out of that. And for all the merits it may have, I think that it had negative long-term repercussions, which we felt already in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which turned out to be a sequel to It. It's going to continue its legacy in this series right here. There is still another WandaVision series or Wanda Maximoff thing to come out in the future still. And they're wasting the talents of the guy who did Picard season 3 on a Vision series. And I don't know that there is a demand for any of these things, any of these offspring of WandaVision, because even those that like that, I don't know that they are that even they are fans of seeing what came after and what still can come after that show. I think it would be just cut out all of that and move in a different direction forward. Let Deadpool versus Wolverine set a new template for the MCU, bring back the audience, and stop all of these projects that can only drive the audience away. And this thing right here, it's Marvel's The Acolyte. I mean, absolutely no offense to anyone of the LGBTQ community. That is not what we're saying here. But this is another project that goes very deep into the pride angle. And I don't think that is what the MCU needs right now. No more than Star Wars needed that in The Acolyte. Yet that's what we're having. That's what we're getting. And that's what's coming out instantly after Deadpool. No good can come from this.
Yeah, and on that note, Connor Dorian says prediction for Agatha All Along: the gay man will turn out to be Billy, one of Wanda Maximoff's kids. That's a plausibility.
I think it's going to be Manny Jacinto.
And yeah, 6 is right. They're using this. I mean, it worked okay for them on that werewolf one, so I can understand why they're doing it on Halloween. At least I'll give them that. I mean, but at the same time, it's like, why? Nobody asked for this shit.
Well, that's the other part too with entertainment. Nobody asks for anything in entertainment,
No,
really. The whole idea is that you write something so good that people want to go see it. That's the difference. I mean, when you capitulate to an audience, you end up becoming a demagogue, and you end up making stuff that nobody ends up wanting to see anyways, which is kind of what we're seeing with Agatha All Along.
That's kind of what they did, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, you have to just keep a good sharp eye out on these things. I mean, it's unfortunate because a lot of the members of this cast are really good actors and they actually know how to play comedy really well, which is kind of rare to see. And here we go with, again, witches and lesbians is not a new idea. They've been doing it for decades. I mean, even the Hammer films touched on it, and that's back in the 60s.
Some of the best movies ever made are about lesbian witches. There's nothing wrong with the concept, but it belongs in the 70s when they could do it right.
Well, you have to do it hokey, and you have to do it deliberately hokey, where you're making fun of it to a point. I mean, when you try to do serious witches like The Craft, it gets that peak, but then it fades into obscurity soon afterwards. It just does, because witches are boring.
Right, mostly. And that's where I guess people were being bothered by the whole thing with the Acolyte, right? It's one thing to do the hocus pocus kind of witches, right? It's another to actually start bringing in real elements of witchcraft and other Wiccan religions and stuff like that, or however you want to put it, because that's what I think was bothering some people most of all. And I wonder if it's going to be the same thing here. And that's what's bothering me is like, for a company that always stayed pretty baseline I mean, yeah, they would lean a little bit more Christian back in the day, but I mean, other than that, I mean, Disney's always stayed kind of pretty straight lined when it came to religion. They didn't really seem to.
I don't know that there's too much religious going on about this.
I know,
though.
but I'm
I'm
just
not
saying it as an
interested in it.
example of like,
Yeah.
why would you do this?
Yeah.
It's one thing to pull in real world things. That's my point. Whether or not you believe in them, that's a totally another conversation and all that kind of shit. Point being is I don't see them pulling in like Jewish practices into one of their movies. You know what I mean? Like that's my point. It's like you're not using inspiration from a real place like that. It's just no. I
But
don't know.
we
Anyway,
we actually have a house Jew to ask that question to.
Well, they're not performing any brisses. That's all I'm.
no, I don't see a Briss in Inside Out too.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a Gollum story in the near future, though, from them. If you know the legend of the Gollum,
Yeah.
Paul's not the only Jew on this panel. Culture.
Surprisingly, I kind of do.
Oh, that's not what I was
Wait a
saying.
minute. You're Jewish?
Yeah, he created that.
You're Jewish?
He created that moniker. It wasn't me.
We're outnumbered.
Now, all right.
I feel like Cartman.
Script Doctor has got multiple secrets.
You know, I am familiar with the golem, even though I am not Jewish, and I'd be much more interested in seeing a take on that than more lesbian witches.
Yeah, the creature they made from mud in Lord of the Rings is actually more similar to a golem, but a golem is a bad. You know, someone has sort of cursed someone. And that creates the golem that executes the curse. It's actually a bad thing that that someone does. It's overreach, essentially.
I actually have the last remaining silent Gollum movies that they did years and years, like way back.
I think it's the only the only Jewish monster we have apart from Harvey Weinstein.
Oh. That's good.
Oh, good one.
That was a good one. You write that one down. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm not. Look, what else can we say about Agatha at this point that we haven't said all along?
What did Agatha All Along?
Well, let's end it. Like, anyone excited for Agatha All Along?
No.
Anyone excited for the prospects? Well, like Script, for instance. Like, you want to be a contrarian? Tell us why we should be excited for it.
There'll be lots to learn on what not to do in a television show about witches.
I like your positive attitude.
It's very purple. It's very purple.
Yes, and this also. I noticed
say.
that too. Actually, thank you for reminding me, because that's also something that Leslie Headland said in about the witches in the Acolytes. Oh, purple! They used purple. This was a deliberate choice to dress them in purple and color code them purple, and that also had something to do with the LGBTQIAP+ thing. And here they're doing the same thing, so at least they're consistent across their brands.
I just don't understand why they're not interested in doing television. Just wonderful, great, shitty television. So, for instance,
right? No,
this could have been Murder, She Wrote, with a person who's hiding the fact that she's a witch. And every week there's a new thing that she needs to solve, and some of it spooky, along the NBC's Grimm show, GRIMM, which was wonderful. And it just rinse and repeat. She's a great actor. I would be happy to watch her in a coroner kind of thing where she's hiding her witch capabilities, and every once in a while her coven friends come in and cause issues, but then the show is reset. She-Hulk, another show where super dead simple to have the perp of the week. It's Barney Miller, but with superheroes of various capabilities. It's not hard to do, yet they just don't want to do it. They think they're bigger than just making regular, fun, shitty TV. And
you can even
premises both of these premises could be ongoing TV shows.
you could even build off the fact that she was technically a bad guy, right?
Absolutely.
Like the
Well,
fact that
wait a
she's like
minute.
doing these things that you just said, but then she's slowly realizing, hey, I feel a lot better when I help people out. So that's her kind of her push to arc to motivation to help people out and solve these
Would be
crimes
a
and
good
shit.
example here. I hate the series Lucifer
I was just
for
gonna
no
mention
other reason than that I so enjoyed the comics, and that series, like, you like the series, cool, but I'm with the comics. But anyway, that would be a good template for an Agatha series, where
Well-
basically you have someone of supernatural origin who comes to this earth and just wants to do good through some slightly nefarious means. I mean,
All right,
there you have it. That's how you do an Agatha series.
Okay, but Andre, despite my great love for Tom Ellis and his performance in Lucifer,
Oh, I hate it, but anyway, yes,
that's fine.
agree to disagree.
No,
on that.
I think that's great, but here's the problem, and this is a problem that got doubled down on when Disney acquired Fox. You have a history now of producing nothing but the villain is the good guy junk. That's what Disney's been doing.
I know.
And that's the only reason I was hesitant to bring it up at first. Yeah.
Yeah, all of this inversion. There's maybe there's a good idea here, Paul. Maybe Andre's right. Script could probably write it and do a fair job.
I'm just
with
saying
it
is a
but
yeah.
But that's all they've been doing because they identify with the bad guys.
That's
true.
true.
This is a greater psychological thing than I think people give it credit for being.
Well, it's not just identifying with the bad guys. It's a new twist and it's a gimmick to try and get people's attention. Because again, the desperation of film and television is show me something new, but that's the same but different. And guess what's something new? Well, let's make the villain the hero, and the hero really the villain. There's your gimmick. There's your twist. Let's M. Night Shyamalan it for television. That is the base core of the mentality. And then you have someone that comes in there and then they get involved in that. And then they find some sort of internalized, profound revelation of what that means to them. And they inject that back into the story. And you just get into this weird, cyclone of basically a circle jerk of just, oh yeah, we're so great. We're so wonderful. So amazing. We're really pushing the boundaries here. We're living on the edge. We're revolutionizing television. And you're still not doing anything near as awesome as the stuff that was being done on TV in the late 70s and throughout the 80s. You're just not.
Exactly. I think they think they're unbelievably clever and they're breaking all sorts of molds.
But they're not. No,
exactly
they're
right.
New molds that just suck.
Yeah, sucking.
They're making mold.
Yeah.
Moldy mold. And
if you breathe it in long enough, you have to go to the hospital and get your lungs cleaned out.
Yes, black mold.
Well, and the actress, I just forgot her damn name, Catherine
Hahn.
Catherine Hahn?
Yeah, like, I mean, she's a likable actress. And that's the only reason I went to the whole, like, that's the only other thing too, is you can't make a series about a villain or an unlikable person. So, like, that's the other problem they're putting themselves into here.
Well, I mean, you can. The thing is, you have to put them on a journey where they become likable and they become a good person. That's part of like their change. Yeah. But the thing is, they don't like to do that. I mean, every amateur writer tries to do this thing in their earlier scripts where we wanted to make the horrible person. We want to make the edgy. We want to make you hate the person all the way through to the end. And they try to do all these horrible things and make this character make all these horrible choices to make you kind of like to see them do bad things. But audiences don't like that. They want to see people who do horrible things get punished, get their comeuppance. And what they don't like to see, but what they actually enjoy watching the obstacle is that someone who is innocent gets crapped on by the world, but they persevere, they overcome it, and they prove that they are the hero that you need to watch.
Which goes with my analogy, yeah.
And in this particular case, so few people know what Agatha is. Just make her the female Constantine. Don't explain that she was horrible in the past at the beginning. Let that creep in later, right? As part of her character arc. It doesn't have to be what the story is.
Well, I think it's almost presenting it like she wasn't necessarily acting on her own accord there. That's what at least I got.
Yeah, but none of that has to be explained because no one watched the previous shit. No one cares.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
You just kind of go clean slate and you go good actress, interesting premise, rinse and repeat.
I've never believed any turn in the history of ever when it comes to characters like that, except for once, and once only. And that was when Skeletor went good for a few minutes in the Christmas special. It's the only time.
Yeah, well, I'm uncomfortable with Homelander. Homelander's gone kind of okay, and now he's sucking on some woman's breast milk again. So he's gone.
Well, remember, he's a pathetic person pretending to be a
because you made the mistake of liking him, Paul. That was your
briefly.
fault. No, I'm serious. You think I'm joking?
His relationship with his son. I thought that
no, they found out that the audience liked that character when you weren't supposed to. I'm not even kidding.
Oh,
that's why they're going out of their way now to try and, yeah.
But he was doing that in season 1, breastfeeding.
Oh yeah, yeah, but he's now back to it.
Yeah, because the person that he was breastfeeding from, he killed. So, like, that's the thing. He's a messed up guy. Like, he's not really a superhero.
But I mean, it's a much more complex show than anything Disney has produced so far.
Mm-hmm.
This clip was taken from Midnight's Edge in the Morning, which streams live every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on the Midnight's Edge main channel. There you can send in your live questions and comments before clips and full stream replays are uploaded to Midnight's Edge live archives. We are also on Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey and Facebook, so smash that like, help share, subscribe and join us.